Joe, Big Ten Media Days are off to a really good start as Tony Petitti has finally made a statement publicly that we can all react to here. And it's been nothing short of some explosive bombs that have been coming down the pipe for the Big Ten as they kicked off their media days. But nevertheless, Tony Petitti did start off today in Big Ten Media Days talking about the playoff, talking about conference games, talking about the AQ model. Joe, as Tony Petitti opens up Big Ten Media Days, I guess I'm going to leave this one open-ended to you. Where do you want to start here on the Big Ten start of Media Days with Commissioner Petitti?
So I have two things that he said today that really changed my perspective on where he's coming from with the approach to the 4-4-2-2-1 AQ 16-team playoff model. The first is just kind of broad, where he talked about and said, I want more teams to feel like they're chasing the opportunity to compete for a national championship. Blake, I think that this just like really stood out to me. His motivation, we kind of questioned, like, hey, why is he fighting so hard for this? Plain and simple, Blake, the guy's a former broadcast executive.
Yeah,
I think that when he came out with this statement, it's not like this is some controversial or some crazy thing to realize. I think it's so bluntly clear now that they want to create more meaningful games later on in the season so they can get more money. I think that it's so simple. Well, right, go figure. And it's kind of dumb to me that is what we're caving to. I think if you ask Tony Petitti, projecting, if he truly felt that the AQ model presents the most competitive environment, I don't know if he would sit there as confidently as we would think. The way that he responded to this, Blake, made me believe that this is all money driven. It has less to do with creating chances for more teams to be in the mix for competitive reasons, and mostly to do with the fact that they want to have 3-4 late game championship-like games that would be viewed a ton by people across the country. Because during the regular season, most of your matchups aren't very good and they get buried on Peacock. So that to me is like the biggest first thing that stood out.
All right. Then explain to me what happens during the regular season and how you keep that importance.
Right.
I mean, right. So I get what you're saying, but there's two things and massive flaws to what you're saying. No, you hired a TV executive as your commissioner. You hit the nail on the head here. He wants his buddies to get more TV revenue. Let's call it what it is. Joe, the four big entities and podcast hosts that are pushing for the AQ model either work for Fox or CBS. Who covers the Big Ten? Fox and CBS. So don't tell me that you're not aligned here. I've had enough of not calling people out on this. You're aligned on it because it's where you work and it's what you do. Okay, let's just be honest and open here. You want more competitive games at the end of November. You mean like what your conference is supposed to do for you? I mean, like if you go to a 16-team playoff, they all mean something at the end of the year. You can't lose. So, Joe, hypothetically speaking, if you get the 4 versus 5 that are competing and trying to battle in the regular season, let's just say, for argument's sake, the 3-4-5 is somewhere in between Michigan and Ohio State. Does that not mean anything? And then if you turn right around and do a play-in game, you're replaying each other, a game that we saw the week before. Joe, the play-in games are dumb because basically, tell me what a play-in game is. What is a play-in game? It is an extension of a playoff. You can't ignore. You can't ignore that. You did not sell me on, nor did he today sell me on what he's trying to do. Joe, his basis is he wants more Big Ten teams in there from a historical reference where they haven't gotten in. They wouldn't have gotten 4 in 2023. They wouldn't have gotten 4 in 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. They wouldn't have done that. So then you got a TV executive that wants his buddies to make more money, and you're trying to do what you think is best for the Big Ten. Joe, what are we doing here? You're basically going to a 2014 playoff is what you're doing if you do play-in games. Actually, you're going more with the G6 or G5, however you want to claim it. So you're getting to a situation where your model is based off of that you want games to be meaningful in December. By the way, Joe, you have your wallet right there next to you. We cover the sport year round. If we want to make more money, meaning you and I, we want the AQ model because that means there's 12 more games that you and I get to break down and we get to make more money. We should be out here screaming from the rafters and to go to the AQ model. You know what? Screw it. Let's go to the AQ model then, Joe.
Yeah, wait, now you sold. See, Petitti didn't sell me, but you just sold me.
See, you make more money based off of it. But here's the God's honest truth. He also said in there, and I quote, I think that this is what's best for the sport. No, you don't. You don't. Not. And let me tell you this. He also took a shot at the SEC, saying that I also I don't really care about other teams and how many conference games that they play. Then why do you want a playing game? Why are you pushing back on the SEC versus the Big Ten in week 1? I mean, I have a commissioner in the SEC saying that he will accept it. Where's your acceptance? So again, I'm getting to a situation in 72 hours where every time he's opened his mouth, for me, it's meant what? Joe, people don't want the playoff to be expanded. And if you go to an AQ, Danny Cannell of all people, Danny Cannell, who is the biggest expansionist of all of us, doesn't think we should expand. And we shouldn't expand. It dilutes the regular season. Joe, let me give you an example. Guess who would have been the 6th team in the SEC this year? And I'm going to use my own team in this because they did not deserve to be there. It would have been LSU. They did not deserve to have a play-in game. They didn't. I love them to death. I literally built my entire existence around them on one show. They did not deserve to be in the playoff based on how they played. And let me throw this out to another extent. What happens to Notre Dame? And I look at this situation and say, Joe, the goal here is about getting the best teams in. He also said this with Ross Dellinger today. He also said, I don't understand the mathematical equation of having mathematicians in reference to talking about the playoff committee. Joe, all they're bringing up is about strength of schedule and strength of record, and there being some kind of metric where you can't play down to level of opponents to get better records to be in the playoff. I got to be real with you. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I really don't.
Well, okay, I think that he knows what he's talking about. I think that his logic is flawed and his motivation is flawed. There was another thing that he said that like really killed any chance that I would support the AQ model. He said, we believe strongly conference record is like the backbone of all that. How you play during the season should qualify you based off of conference record. When you start comparing teams that don't have a head-to-head and you have very little data to look between leagues, that becomes really difficult. What he just stated is an angle that we haven't talked about with any of this. If we go AQ and we go play him, the seeding for the conference is based off of conference record. You just destroy and eliminate the importance of any non-conference regular season game. If you're going to go to the AQ, put it where you're at. Put weight behind your words. If you're willing to push for this, you're saying that we should have a 12-team or a 12-game schedule of only conference games. Because why would I even schedule an FCS opponent? That's a waste of a game.
You
it's
mean
a waste of time.
What Indiana and Nebraska have done?
Sure, that's not exactly what I'm going for, but my point is like,
what they've done.
What do you get out of the 3 non-conference games at this point? They're useless. They're exhibition games.
Joe, you know what else he did in that comment? Bama went 4-1 against top 25 opponents in their own conference. You just killed Indiana.
Well,
you just killed them because if everything is based off of your conference record and you're determining them based on what you're doing, then how do you determine Bama going 4-1 against the top 25? How do you determine them going 2-1 against the top 10?
Well, then they would just get slotted into the SEC AQ which is what he wants.
No, they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have. So again, they have to play it in. We don't know if they would. They would have to do a play-in game to get there. They got to play an extra game to get there after everything they did in the regular season. Joe, let me bring this up. Is the NFL model of playoffs right based off of NFC, AFC? Because let me give you an example. Hey, wasn't the Minnesota Vikings the second best team based off of record last year?
Yes.
Were they a wild card or did they get a slotted spot of a division? No. They literally, their regular season and all of those wins meant nothing. They meant nothing. College football being unique is every Saturday mattering. Every single time you expand. Every single time. And AQ models is Joe, it's more than a 16-team expansion. It's a 30-game expansion. Whether we want to admit it or not, he does not have the best interest of the sport at hand. And I got to be honest, I don't want to say you, but there was a sentiment about Greg Sankey last week about quote unquote coming off as having too much power. Why would I give Tony Petitti, who is literally running out there with what feels to be like his intentions are nothing about money and what's best for his conference too? I mean, why would I do that?
Okay,
There's no way that I am standing behind this AQ model. None. Zero.
Right. Yes, we're not standing behind it because we think that it doesn't present value for the playoff structure. It does not promote the most competitive environment for these teams to play in. And I'm my main final takeaway from this, I'm disappointed by the logic that Petitti had that he was pitching during this discussion. I don't think that he did an effective job of supporting any of this.
Sorry. Joe, we said yesterday that when he comes out to speak that we need to be sold on an AQ model, and he did worse. So the Ross Dellinger piece today that we have not even brought up yet, technically, Joe, all they're asking for is for strength of schedule and strength of record to be a part of this. Do we need to bring it back up again? Now, we're going to talk about Rhett Lashley, and anybody that's watching this clip video, go back over to Ruffino and Joe and watch the Rhett Lashley clip video. Mm-hmm. Joe, let me ask you this. Basically, what the Big Ten and the ACC did today was try to take shots at the SEC. All of the headlines were about what?
The SEC, which is stupid.
You're basically, this is how it comes off. Tell me if you actually, you know what? I haven't fully thought about this, but this is how it comes off to me. Everybody wants to go after the alpha dog. And you're saying, meaning the Big Ten, because you won the last 2 national titles, that you're the alpha dog. Then why are you keep going after the SEC if you're the team that's on top then? If you're the conference that's up top and that's the best at the current moment, why are you doing it? You got guys on Fox like Colin Cowherd who is running out there saying the Big Ten is better than the SEC and it's why Saban retired. No, Saban retired because he's about to be 75 years old. I am so done. So done. If you think you're the best, let's go prove it. You think 2 years is based after 2 decades, you want 2 years to dictate that you think you're the best. Okay, then line the ball up and let's go. And you better hope Ohio State wins. You better pray to God that they win. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is Texas goes up to Columbus and wins. Joe, the South is going to come up here and kick your ass. Because you've been talking shit all offseason, and you know that they have. Good luck.